she saw my husband, and she pulled out of her handbag one pair of pink panties.
Welcome to the channel. In this video update, we remember the remarkable life and legacy of Maria Riva, a talented actress, author, and the daughter of Hollywood icon Marlene Dietrich, who peacefully passed away at the age of 100. Her century-long life was filled with art, resilience, and history, and today we take a closer look at her extraordinary journey through Hollywood and beyond. Maria Riva, born Maria Sieber in Berlin in 1924, was the only child of the world-famous actress and performer Marlene Dietrich and film director Rudolf Sieber. From the very beginning, Maria's life was surrounded by creativity, travel, and the spotlight, but also by challenges that came with being the daughter of one of the most glamorous and celebrated women of her time. Her parents' relationship was unconventional for the era. Though they eventually lived apart, Dietrich and Sieber maintained a lifelong friendship and mutual respect. Maria spent her early childhood in Berlin before her mother brought her to Hollywood in 1931 during the golden age of cinema. Instead of a traditional school education, Maria was taught by private tutors and governesses, staying close to her mother's side. She often accompanied Dietrich on film sets, public appearances, and even red carpet events. Dietrich reportedly had a special uniform made for her young daughter that read "Attendant to Miss Marlene Dietrich." It was a symbol of how deeply intertwined their lives were. Growing up in Hollywood allowed Maria to meet many of the biggest names in entertainment. She formed friendships with well-known figures, including Rosemary Kennedy, sister of future US President John F. Kennedy. She also made brief appearances in her mother's films, learning the craft from one of the most legendary stars in movie history. As Maria matured, she began carving her own path. She studied acting in New York, determined to build a career independent from her mother's influence. After attending Fordham University, she met and married William Riva, a talented set designer, in 1947. The couple would go on to share a marriage that lasted more than 50 years, raising 4 sons, Michael, Paul, Peter, and David. Before settling into family life, Maria built a successful career in early television, a field that was just beginning to rise in popularity. She joined CBS as a contract performer in the early 1950s, during a time when appearing on television was still considered risky for established actors. In those days, she once said, if a film actor appeared on television, it was thought their career was over. But Maria helped change that perception. She became one of the network's busiest performers, appearing in hundreds of live teleplays and commercials. Her talent and professionalism earned her 2 Emmy nominations in 1952 and 1953 for Best Actress, an impressive recognition in the early days of television drama. Despite her rising success, Maria eventually chose to step back from acting to focus on her family life in Europe during the 1960s. Her decision reflected a desire for stability after years of growing up in the unpredictable world of entertainment. Yet even away from the spotlight, her connection with her mother remained strong, though often complicated. Maria would later describe their relationship as complex and at times distant. After Marlene Dietrich's passing in 1992, Maria honored her mother's wish to write her official biography. The book, simply titled Marlene Dietrich: The Life, became a revealing and deeply researched look into the private and public life of the silver screen legend. Maria was praised for her honesty and insight, capturing both Dietrich's glamour and her human side. Beyond that biography, Maria also helped preserve her mother's legacy by editing a collection of her poetry and publishing a book of previously unseen photographs. She continued writing well into her later years, even releasing a novel and updated editions of her earlier works. Her contributions ensured that future generations could understand both her mother's influence and her own remarkable life story. Maria occasionally returned to acting later in life. In 1988, she appeared in the holiday film Scrooged, starring Bill Murray, marking her first major screen role in decades. Decades later, she made a brief appearance in a 2018 short film titled All Aboard, directed by one of her grandsons. A touching full-circle moment connecting 3 generations of creativity. In her personal life, Maria faced her share of loss and hardship with quiet strength. Her beloved husband, William Riva, passed away in 1999 after more than half a century together. Their eldest son, Michael Riva, who followed in his parents' artistic footsteps as a Hollywood production designer, passed away in 2012. Despite these difficult moments, Maria remained surrounded by her family and can continue to live a peaceful life in New Mexico, where she spent her final years. Her son, Peter Riva, shared that Maria passed away peacefully in her sleep from natural causes at her home in New Mexico on October 29th, just a few weeks before her 101st birthday. In his statement, he described his mother as a source of wisdom and compassion, someone whose warmth and guidance touched everyone she met. He reflected lovingly, saying, "The family takes comfort knowing that Maria is now reunited with her husband, her son, and her parents, the people who shaped her life and legacy." Maria Riva lived a life that spanned an entire century. From the silent film era to the digital age, she witnessed immense cultural and technological change and managed to leave her own artistic mark while preserving the legacy of one of Hollywood's most enduring icons. Her story is one of resilience, creativity, and grace, a reminder that behind every legendary name, there are generations of talent and dedication continuing that legacy. Through her work, her writing, and her family, Maria ensured that the story of Marlene Dietrich and her own would never be forgotten. Thank you for watching. Maria Riva's century-long journey reminds us that every life behind the spotlight holds a deeper story, one of courage, artistry, and lasting love. If you found this video inspiring, consider subscribing for more stories that celebrate the lives and legacies of remarkable figures from around the world.